Hey y'all, welcome to this Women's Wednesday on a Friday. My name is Brian and I'm Brian the Psychology Guy. Today we're going to look at some issues that specifically target women, and that is burnout, self-care, and selfishness. Right? When we look at women from a psychological perspective, we view them through the big five personality traits. And on a macro scale, women tend to be higher in trait conscientiousness and trait neuroticism. Now, trait conscientiousness is the trait that allows for people to want to give. And that makes women great mothers, great teachers, great nurses, and great doctors, right? Because they want to give of themselves, they want to help others. Trait neuroticism is somebody's emotional sensitivity. This is also what makes women really great at these fields, is their ability to perceive others' emotions and be empathetic and feeling of that. Where it goes astray is stress and anxiety is also part of that. And when somebody is really sensitive to stress and anxiety, it compounds over time when they don't take care of themselves. When we look at data across the board, humans are really good at taking care of people that matter to them. So like pets and children are usually higher in the hierarchy of this. When women specifically have a sick child or a sick pet, they're really great at making sure that that pet gets to their doctor's appointments, gets the medication shortly thereafter, and takes them on time every time. People in general, women specifically, are really poor at doing that for themselves. They're really good at giving to others, poor at giving to themselves. And there's a variety of different psychological reasons why that occurs, and we can get into those on future episodes. But this is how do we handle this, right? We have to change the perspective and reframe it in a way that we care for ourselves like we're somebody else. And that's really important. So how do we do that? We have to set boundaries. First and foremost, setting proper boundaries as far as when it is appropriate to ask somebody, health related questions if you're a nurse when you're off work. That's not appropriate. You need to set those boundaries. Setting boundaries as far as when you're willing to give to others, because it's really easy to continue to give and give and give and give, but you have to also give back to yourself. And so setting time for yourself where you get to do things that are just for you, whether it's getting your nails done, going to get your hair done, reading, crocheting, exercising, doing these small things on days that you work, days that you don't work, allow for you to give back to yourself in a way that's meaningful. Another way is restorative sleep. Americans across the board are terrible at sleep. But when you're overcome with stress and anxiety, it can make it more difficult to sleep, which makes it harder for you to get that rest that's necessary for you to continue to give. How do we do that? Part of it is putting the phone down at least an hour before bed, half an hour minimum, and just sort of allowing yourself to decompress, allowing yourself to not allow stimulation to enter your brain. Other things that we can look at is doing a gratitude journal, recording down every single day something that you're grateful for. Even if it's something as simple as my kids are healthy, I can walk, the sun is out, it's not raining today, it's January and it's not raining. This is a day to be grateful. Flipping perspective in a way that's positive instead of negative, and allowing yourself to be joyful without guilt. Sometimes when we're really happy and somebody is not happy, it's easy, especially when we're high in trait neuroticism, to view that joy as something that we're guilty. We shouldn't be feeling this happy when there are people that are hungry, for example. No, feel happy. Enjoy the happiness, celebrate that, and allow for yourself to feel it. When does this become selfish? All this self-care stuff, right? When it becomes selfish is when you're putting yourself ahead of everything else. When it's me and I don't care about what anybody else feels. Another way that it becomes selfish is when it allows for you to deflect responsibility or deflecting things that you need to address. You see it often in society when somebody says, oh, this triggers me, I'm not going to deal with it. That's not self-care, that's selfish. So what we need to do is allow for ourselves to address the things that we need to address to make ourselves better, but we also need to be responsible to those that we care about. Remember, this is all part of being human, is we have to address the things that we need to address so that we can continue to be the amazing people that we are.